Welcome, everyone. It's Tuesday, and we're here. It's Tuesday, and we are here. Listen, it's in you all along. As I was standing next to my bed last night, before I got into bed, I heard as clear as day, because I was talking to myself. I'm so glad the principles are foolproof. That's what I was saying to myself. I'm so glad that they're foolproof because if I had to bring about an effect or bring about a cause or keep moving or, you know what I mean? It does it all for me. It does it all for me. It's quite like if we had to remember to breathe or if we had to regulate our heartbeat on our own, regulate our blood pressure on our own. No, I'm glad it does it for me. I'm glad that it does it for me. Can you imagine if we had to regulate our own hormones? I'm glad it does it for me. See, the principles are absolutely amazing. And they've been in us this whole time. But we didn't know. That's the part that messes with me. It is such a beautiful thing. Why were we not made aware of it? That's my first question. The second question is, perhaps we were always meant to become aware of it because it is inevitable that one becomes aware. Like sometimes I sit and I wonder, I'm like, if I had to figure out when to become aware, I'd be unaware for like ever, I'm sure. But I don't have to figure out when to become aware. Awareness happens. Everything is aware of itself. So you see, it is in us. It is in us. Right? Like that is such a huge sigh of relief. It really is a huge sigh of relief. Or a yawn in my case, but if you think about it, it is. I shake my head and I say, wow, I'm glad. Thanks. I'm glad it's in me. What's in us? Well, the ability to know ourselves. The ability to grow, the ability to change. It's like with babies. Like I'm watching Chicolet and it's growing so beautifully. Like it really is. Just to watch it go through the stages of learning to eat and drink and learning to forage. Just watching it do that. And I'm like, we don't have to tell it to do it. It does it at its own stage. It is, for lack of a better phrase, pre-programmed. But the pre-programming is actually the principle of rhythm, the ebb and the flow. Like Dumpling. Oh my goodness. Dumpling is a very interesting little duck. I listen to Dumpling, and I can tell when Dumpling is frustrated. The tone of his chirps change. I can tell when he's getting ready for sleeping. The tones change. His bill is getting a little bigger, so are his feet. It is a very interesting transformation to watch. And he hates being alone. He must always be touching, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. And so what is really that I'm getting at this morning is all of the processes that we go through are exactly the same. We have these different stages in our lives that simply occur without provocation. You get a certain way, it happens. Like, it is so interesting, right? Like if you watch yourself, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you watch yourself, you'll see. You will find that you are growing. You will see it. And this is what is so fascinating to me. I don't have to make it happen. It happens at its own point in time. This is why Habakkuk verse 2 is very interesting. It talks about vision. Every vision has its appointed hour. It will ripen, it will flower. If it be long, wait, it will not be late. So you see, remember yesterday I told you, a desire emerges from right where you're at. It always will. It is the effect of where you are. So when it shows up, the thing to know is, well, it wouldn't have just shown up on its own. And because it's shown up, so too has the effect. Right? Meaning its fulfillment has already shown up as well. You and I don't see it instantaneously, but the knowledge, the knowing that, wait, this desire emerged, and for it having to have emerged, then it is automatically fulfilled. And because it is automatically fulfilled, you will be compelled to behave in a particular way that matches it. People tend to ask, well, I didn't ask for this particular thing. No, it's not the thing. It's the way the thing makes you feel. This is what it is. So the desire emerges, and then the corresponding experience that matches. That's why there can be any number of possibilities. There can be any number of possibilities. But the one thing that will be sure is the way you feel. And it happens this way every time because that is its design. Every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. So what it does for us is remove worry. It removes fretting. It removes stress. Because we got other things to think about. We got other things to experience. So when the law works the way that it does, the outcome of the working of the law is ease, satisfaction. This is why if you look at a garden that is unkempt, it used to be, pristine, but now it is unkempt. And they say nature just takes over because that is what it does. You don't have to force it to take over. You just have to allow it. But you see, we tend to cut things back. Every couple of years in Barbados, you have to reclaim land. I don't know if you know what that means. You have to go out into the ocean and drop big boulders. Push the land. You push the water backwards. How long do you think you can do that for? You see, naturally what happens, it will go the way it was meant to go. Naturally. That's what it will do. And thereby it looks like it's taking over. It's not taking over. It's doing what it's always been meant to do. Listen, it rained cats and dogs and other small rodents yesterday. Oh, yes, it did. Why? I like the way Neville always describes it. He says, say it to me. The conditions must be right. In order for it to rain, the conditions must be right, or else there is no rain. So wherever we are going in our lives, whatever we are doing, the conditions will always be. And the way the conditions are, this is what we get to experience. Because the conditions are there. But we have a way that we've been given, and it's called awareness. When you are aware that the conditions exist, you now get the opportunity to mold and shape yourself into any condition. That's what's so beautiful about it. You mold and shape yourself into the condition you desire. Deliberately. Why? Because it's going to happen. Whatever condition you choose has its effect. So what do? You mold and shape yourself. It's always going to be you. That is the operant power, as Neville Goddard puts it. I love that. He always waxed poetic. The operant power, meaning you, by your deliberate behavior, will actually observe things as they unfold, not because you force them, because we could try. But every cause will still have its effect, and every effect will still have its cause, and everything will still move. We can't stop those, but we can become deliberate in such a way that we can say, wait a minute. Oh, Lord. Baby, it's too early for singing, isn't it? Isn't it? Just give Mommy a little bit more. A little bit more quiet. Hmm? See, it is inevitable that he will sing. It is inevitable. He will sing. You know, people put collars on their roosters so that they can't get the sound out when they crow. Why? All because municipalities tell you you can't have roosters in the city. It is inevitable that they crow. And what that causes us to do is to find a way to stifle what is. Look around and you'll understand what I'm saying. Sometimes we try and force things. And in the long run, it looks like we have stopped them from happening. This is what it looks like, right? I shouldn't say longer in the short term. It looks like we've stopped things from happening, slowed it down, if you will. But in actuality, we have not. We cannot stop the inevitability. I'm a little somber this morning. I'm a little somber this morning because last night we got this message that one of our coworkers had passed away. He was an older gentleman, and I remember the last thing I said to him on Saturday was, I said, enjoy your weekend. He goes, I will. Because he bought something and, I rang his purchase through and I said, I'll see you. I'll see you on Wednesday. And we got this text asking, hey, did anybody hear from him? I said, if this is out of character, do a police wellness check. Sure enough, the wellness check was done. And that's how he was discovered. And so, this next choice of words, it was a rather sobering effect. If you think about it, we work at a liquor store, but it was a rather sobering thing, right? It's very sobering. And we've been conditioned to fear that which we don't understand. Somebody asked me, how did you know to do that? I'm like, oh, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If something is out of character, you see, the rhythm has changed. Watch what I'm saying to you. He's always the same. He comes in a couple minutes early, and he's always so sweet. And I just told him, man, I'm digging your haircut. Because it reminded me of the Backstreet Boys, right? And it was just full gray. And I said, oh, I love it. Makes you look like a young pop star. And he ran his fingers through his hair. I said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Make the girls go crazy. And we had a good laugh. So we cannot stop the inevitability of the principles. We can't. But if we learn to allow ourselves to simply become aware, awareness is inevitable. Awareness is inevitable. So just allow yourself to become aware. Well, I don't know what to become aware of. You don't have to figure out what to become aware of. You will just become aware of something. And it usually starts with becoming aware of oneself. It is a beautiful thing. But we get so caught up with the consumption of things that we don't see. But take your time. Take your time. And if you said it, because I know I did, rush the brush, you waste the paint. One of the guys I work with, he paints. And I had mentioned that. He goes, you know what? You are so right. You have to take your time when you pull the brush along so that it doesn't splatter and get all over you and over things. He goes, it's you got to take your time. And I'm like, I know, because when you rush a brush, you waste the paint. Like, it may seem trivial to say, but it only is an observation because it has been in us this whole time. And that's what I love about the principles. We do not have to force anything to change. It changes. And it changes with or without you, but it changes. But what we get to do The privilege of living. Oh, listen to it. The privilege of living. That's what it is. It's a privilege, is it not? You get to discover. It's like going on a giant road trip. A galactic one nonetheless, but that's what it's like. You get to discover you. And I know for some of us, most of us, if not all, we've been through some things and probably still going through them and feeling as if, oh, there's no way out. But this is where being deliberate comes in. Deliberately, what do you want to become? That is it's not even a serious question, It's a fun question. What do you want to become? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? A beautiful girl. She's in Bali. And that's what she's always wanted to do. She's always wanted to travel. And it was like, part of her didn't know it, because she'd gone through some things. But part of her, she didn't know. But then she had the opportunity to travel, and then people say the travel bug bit her. No, it didn't bite her. It was the effect, the freedom. And so now she travels the world and teaches people about manifestation. She travels the world. She models. Well, shoot, if I look like her, I'd model too, dang. But she discovered these things. She became aware of these things. Even though she had been going through a very dark stage, she allowed. The key is to go through. Because why? Everything moves. What is happening to you right now, or through you right now, is simply a stage in polarity. That's what it is. It's just a stage in polarity. It is not meant to break you, because it cannot. Oh, believe me, sometimes you feel like you've been shattered into a million pieces. Sometimes it bloody well feels like that. But if you take it into perspective, that it is simply a stage in polarity, and it is only unfolding that way at this present time from a previous cause. And where you and I get to be deliberate, because the desire will arise from that situation you're in. And you will say, no, I don't want that. I want to be, I want to go. You will say that naturally. And you must know that when you say it naturally, that's the only way to say it, that the opportunity has already presented itself. It's right there. So the moment the desire arises from your lips that says, oh, I've had enough of this, I want this instead, oh, there it is fulfilled. You don't have to force it. Allow it to emerge. The ideas will come from that same place. Why don't you try going here? And if you watch it, it always goes towards the expansion of the experience for life. It does not cause you to say, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to end it all. No, it will not do that to you. Because that is not the natural way that it happens. But that is the deliberate way that some people choose, because they feel as if they cannot go on. It is only a feeling, but from the feeling, that is what arises to match. So what I'm saying to you is, good, bad, or indifferent, wherever that mood or that feeling is predominantly, You have to experience it from there. But if you say, I don't want that, I want to go towards life, you will get the opportunity. It will present itself. The ideas towards life will present itself. Just as if you sit in the darkness, the desire to go into it will be there for you. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, is what I'm saying. I'm telling you how it occurs, so that the next time you catch yourself saying, oh, I'm having these kinds of thoughts, you're having those thoughts because you are in that mood. And those thoughts can only match the mood. So you see, my beautiful friends, you and I are not stuck. Sometimes it appears that way. And that's why my grandfather always told me, as long as you are alive, you can make a change. That's what he said to me. As long as you are alive, you can make a change. Do not be hasty to give in to the thoughts, but examine the thoughts that show you the mood. It's in you. So when you examine the thoughts, you'll be able to see what mood you're in. And when you see what mood you're in, you'll say, whoa, I now know why you're there. You know what? I want to experience something different. Now, what would it be like if I were experiencing it? How would I get up and see my day? How would I say hello to my neighbors? How would I go to work? All those things you would ask. How would I do these things? How would I do life if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? And then what happens from there? Because you are entertaining that mood, different thoughts arise. And you say, oh, I'd be doing this. Oh, wait, I'd be doing that. Oh, wait a minute, I'd be doing this one. Oh, I'd be doing them all. Yes, I would. The thoughts will emerge from the mood. Your thoughts are not random. And when you begin to become aware of who you are and how you do things, you'll recognize you can walk anywhere. And sometimes people's thoughts will get to you before they do. So that way you will realize, oh, well, that's not me. Because I've been noticing that, really. I've been listening to people and they say, lately I've been having these weird thoughts that are so uncharacteristic. And I'm saying to myself, that's because people's thoughts, like their reputations, precede them. They are projected outward. As within, so without. So that's why you and I become aware of ourselves. So that when we feel something, we're like, whoa, that's out of character for me. That's not something I would normally do. Why am I telling you that? So that when it occurs, you don't think it's you and fall for it. They're called suggestions. All you get to do, listen, people sprinkle suggestions throughout the day. They're called commercials. They're called advertisements. They are suggestions. Next thing you know, you get a particular craving, and you're like, wait, but I've never done that before. This is why we always start in the very same place, with the awareness of one's self. This is where we always start. Who am I? Where am I? What is my purpose? That's why we always start there. It is inevitable that we start there because of the first principle. Is mind. not brain. The brain is an organ, but mind is what makes the brain work. Mind is what causes you to breathe. Mind is what causes you to get up and walk. Mind is what causes you to go number 1 or 2. The awareness. It is the awareness. You and I cannot see the awareness because it isn't quote unquote invisible. Perhaps to the untrained eye it is invisible. But if you observe that which is visible, you get a sense of what the invisible is. That's why when I say to check your mood, this is what I'm talking about. People say, well, I don't know why I did that. You didn't take the time. I don't know why I do that. Observe yourself and you will know exactly why you do it. There's nothing more glorious than looking at the self. When you look at the self, it's like, you see how vast it is? But it's so, for me at least, it is so overwhelming sometimes. The vastness. Because we think the self is just this little itty bitty body and you can pinch it, You can bite it. Oh, it's just little old me. No. What is powering little old you? That's what gives you the power to change, my friends. So today, if you're going through it, a desire has already arisen from you to change. You've had a desire. It did not come from nowhere. It has emerged from you because of where you presently are, and that is natural. It is an effect because of the mental mood you are in. For instance, when I say it's been in us all along, the natural thing to do is want to eat if you are hungry. Naturally. Drink if you're thirsty. Naturally. If you're cold, the natural desire is warmth. If you're too hot, the natural desire is to cool down. Cause and effect. These are not mysteries. We live them every day. So if you don't have any money, the natural desire is to be able to pay your way. Especially with dignity, meaning you don't have to beg anybody. That's the natural desire. So if that's the natural desire, then the second question is because you've done step 1. What would I like to be? You've answered it based upon where you are. The natural desire that emerges. Then step 2 is, what would I be doing? What would I be doing if? And you begin to explore, because the moment you ask that question, you are in a different mood and you will get a different set of thoughts, a different set of feelings that match. And when you recognize that that's what you're doing, oh, I would be doing this, I'd be doing that. Along comes a feeling. And that feeling will confirm for you, yes, that's exactly what I'd be doing. Listen, your feelings always are confirmation of what you're thinking. As within, so without. Ponder that for a moment. Whatever that thing is that you're feeling, that mood that you're in, your thoughts and your actions and your words are going to match it. That's how come you can say, "Ooh, I didn't know they were so mad. I didn't know they were so happy." Why? Because you saw their actions. So sometimes, if we pay attention, you'll catch that feeling that tells you you are in confirmation. And we have a word called cognitive dissonance, but in actuality, pay attention to it. Cognitive dissonance is when you say one thing, but you're trying to convince yourself of it, but you already believe something else. I really want this to happen. I love it. I love you. But uh, there's something in the back of you that says that's not true. Or you flip it the other way around. So that's the best way I can describe cognitive dissonance, where it is you are doing this one thing, saying this one thing, and it is contrary. Remember, logic, this is what creates the cognitive dissonance. When we try to ignore the neurologic. Logically, we say, oh, I shouldn't do that. Logically. But neurologically it's been what you've been doing this whole time. So naturally, you're going to go towards it. It is your pathway, neurologically. So there's where those two things seem to fight each other. Logic and the neurologic begin to fight. But there's only going to be one winner. And it will not be logic. It will always be the neurologic that wins. Neville Goddard puts it this way. He says, it is always the feeling that will win out. The feeling is familiar. It's the neurological pathway that you've been doing this whole time. It is your what now? Your habit, your rhythm that you've been doing this whole time. But logically, you say, well, I don't want to do that. Logically, that's what you say. I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. But because that neurological pathway is as old as Methuselah, because you've been doing it for so long, that is the thing you're going to do. So you don't fight it. Because you can't win it. You cannot win against it. So what do you do instead? Because it may appear to be hopeless if you can't fight your neurology. The solution is right where the problem is. So if the problem that you're looking at is the neurologic self, the habits that you set down, well, then the solution is to make a new habit. Listen, don't get it twisted. Habits are very easy to make. Habits are very, very easy to make. It is you and I doing the same thing the same way every time. Let me give you an example. If you come home every day and you have a pint of beer or a glass of wine or a shot of whatever. I work at a liquor store, so I see a lot of things. If you come home and you do that every single day, and you've been doing it for more than 2 weeks, you have a habit. You have a habit because you've been doing it the same way every time. This is why I say, be cognizant, be aware. Well, how did I get here? That escalated quickly. That's what we end up saying because we don't pay attention. Then, whatever it is, I'll shower every day, yes, but Sunday, I want to soak in the bathtub every Sunday, especially because it helps you to unwind. Like it just gets you ready for the week. That's the habit. Because if I don't do it at a certain time, I'm like, and I am nudged to do it. It could be as simple as that, or eating the same thing, drinking the same thing, smoking the same thing. That is the principle of rhythm. Do the same thing the same way every time. And what you've conditioned yourself to do is to create a neurological pathway inside your brain so that every time, listen, you can go on holidays and you're going to get up the same time every day that you get up that you're not on holidays because it's a neurological pathway. You get up that time you do the same thing the same way every time. So look at your life. What is it that you are doing the same way every time? Now, how are you going to know? Because at first you might not see it, but I'm telling you, nothing is invisible. Do you know how you'll know? You will say to yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing the same thing? But you see, sometimes we don't hear ourselves say it. It does not register. But if you're paying attention, you'll begin to see why you appear to be stuck. You're not stuck. You're just doing the same thing the same way every time. So how do you release yourself? Doing the same thing the same way every time. That thing will present itself to you and you will get the opportunity to say, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. That's a country song, but I digress. You'll say that. Or you will say, I am tired of doing this. Ugh. So if you're tired of doing that, what would you prefer to be doing? Hello, little bit. You see, we tend to forget something very important. People say it all the time. The universe abhors a void. Well, of course it abhors a void because every cause has its effect, and as within, so without. It always has to have that thing to balance. Cause and effect, within, without. It can't have a whole. So if you say, I don't want to do that, you must replace it with something else. What is that thing that you want to do instead? Yes, baby, I hear you. I'm almost done. He knows what time it is. He says, you got to go to work, girl. If you say, I don't want to do that, that's great. What do you want to do instead? You must go that direction, or you will continually do the same thing. So a habit is anything that you do the same way every time. And we've designed them in such a way to help us to do it. Humanity is funny that way. We designed them under the umbrella called ritual. But look at a ritual. What is a ritual? Something you do the same way every time. So why call it a ritual? A ritual allegedly gives something a place of reverence, but it doesn't have to be a ritual, because it isn't. It is the principle of rhythm. So if you want to change your life, step one, what do you want to become instead? This is why I tell you that complaining keeps you where you are. Because you can't have a void. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. So if you don't want to do A, then you have to do something else, or you will continually do A because you cannot remain stagnant. Everything moves. So if you are going to take the time to complain, then whatever you're complaining about in your life has to remain the same. As within, so without. It's not going to change because you are looking in the same place every time, habitually. So then life unfolds habitually in the same fashion. So today, my beautiful friends, you are not stuck. And you cannot be stuck, because to be stuck is to break law, and we cannot break law. Thank you. Because God knows I've tried. Can't break the law. Not man's law, right? Not man's law. That's not what I'm talking about. This is universal law. But if you use it deliberately, meaning, okay, I'm going to make this my new thing. I have a habit of complaining. I'm talking in general, which we all do at some point in our lives. We have a habit of complaining. We always tend to see the catastrophic end of things instead of seeing the bright side. We only see the catastrophic because we've done it the same way every time. So if you don't want to do that, what do you want to do? You want to see the good in everything? Okay, you start by making that acknowledgement to yourself. I want to start seeing the good in everything. Because there is. I just want to see the beauty that there is. Oh, Ansel, but isn't that delusional? There's bad too, you know. We all know that there is. We all know that there is quote unquote bad. So why would you look for it? Why not look for the rare and the beautiful? I mean, it's just an observation. So if that's what you want to do, you say, okay, I'm going to look for the beauty. I'm going to give thanks. For what are you going to give thanks for? Whatever I want to. I could chew my food because I don't have any dental issues. I don't have a problem. I could chew my food just fine. I don't have any mouth pain. Listen, let me tell you something, Linda. You don't know mouth pain till you had it. Whoo! It may seem mundane, but if you practice celebrating good things instead of complaining, you will find not just through hearsay that, oh, gratitude is the attitude. You're not doing gratitude for the attitude so you can get something. You're doing gratitude to understand that it is within you. That when you do it, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know that as within, so without. So if I look for the good, I am focused on good, so good is within. So if good is within and good makes me feel this way, well, then my experience on the outside will correspond, and I will feel the exact same way inside that I do outside. See, that's the knowing of something, as opposed to, you know what, I'm just going to play these subliminals because I heard that subliminals work. Yeah, but do you understand? You see, the light of understanding is what guides our footsteps. It is not good enough to know and to do. It is best to understand so that when you know and you do it from a different place. You and I are not meant to be led around by strings. And that's just what doing without understanding is. It's being led. But we are meant to govern our steps. And the way to govern your steps is to know who and what you are. But here's the beauty. You will always come to that. You will always come to the knowing of who and what you are. You can run, baby, but you can't hide from it. You will always know who and what you are. So deliberately, let's do the steps one final time. Whatever your problem is you're facing this morning has caused you to cry out, to say, I want something better for myself. It has caused you to do that. Run with that one. How so? Now that you know you want something better for yourself, what would you be doing that would show you that you were doing better? There's always going to be the evidence. There's always going to be an effect. Right now you're being the cause by choosing. What would you be doing that would show you you were doing better in life? What? Well, Angela, I'd be doing this. Wait, no, I'd be doing that. Oh, wait. No, I'd be doing this. Now, when you start to go through in your mind's eye the things that you would be doing, it's going to just let it happen. Let it come out of you naturally. Don't block it by saying things like, oh man, that's just my imagination. I'm just pretending. That's just never going to happen. Uh, 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 that is not the exercise. That is not the exercise. Because if you practice that, well, as within, so without. So you start looking. You know what? I'd be doing this. I'd be doing it this way. I'd be getting up every day and I'd be in this kind of attitude. I'd be seeing my neighbors and waving like this. I would be walking in my gangster lean. I'd be doing this. Ooh, girl, I'd be doing that. You know, people say live as if. No, get into your mind's eye. What would you be doing if? What would you be doing? And do it like a dancer would. A dancer does not just observe steps. A dancer performs the steps as they observe them. Or they observe the steps as they perform them. So whatever you're doing in your mind's eye, you're not watching it happen, you're doing it. Do it in your mind's eye. Like the little boy who says, you know what? I saw the hat in my mind and I crocheted it. Everything starts in the mind, so that's why you always go there. To change the neurology, to set down a new pattern. And what is the new pattern? The thing that you keep seeing yourself do. That's what you're literally doing. You are literally. So if you say, you know what? I can see myself getting up every day and doing this, but let me do it. What would it feel like to me if I did it? And you see that feeling? That is the feeling that confirms for you, because once your body registers the feeling, think about it. When your body registers the feeling, it is true. The body, why do you think that writer wrote the book, The Body Keeps the Score? It doesn't forget. It's the neurology. The information is stored so that you can always reuse it. So if you want new information, you have to create new information and store it so that you can use it. So what you do in your mind's eye, as Neville Goddard says, what you experience in imagination, what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be, what that tells you to do is, like the dancer, 1, 2, cha cha cha, 1, 2, cha cha cha. You actually have to do the 1, 2, cha cha cha, because when you do it, you remember it. Oh, is that hearsay? Or is that actual fact? What you do, you remember. How do you think you learned how to do what you did? Uh, how? Because you did it. But you got to see yourself doing it, and you got to feel yourself doing it. Yes. You watch any dancer, and that's what they're doing. They're in their imagination doing the steps. They might not look like they're moving. Listen, every scientist who's been watching these athletes has got them hooked up to the thing on their heads and tells them to run the race. They're sitting in a chair. What do you mean run the race? But look at the machinery. The machinery, boop, 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 boop. It's registering what? It's registering their brain activity. Why? Because they're doing it in their mind's eye. You can't see it because you're not hooked up to a machine. But the body, you better be sure that the body is registering what you think about. Especially what you think about incessantly, habitually. So if you want to change your life, identify where you're at. And then begin to experience in imagination what you'd be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. And your body will register that information. Neurons will fire. But in order for those neurons to wire together, you gotta keep firing them the same way. So you gotta keep the feeling the same way. So if you're constantly cranky all the time, your entire demeanor Your entire body chemistry will show it. So what I'm telling you is not magic. It is not woo-woo. All science does is observe these things, but they are law. Mentalism, the all is mind. Correspondence, as within, so without. Vibration, everything moves. Polarity, it moves through stages. They're not opposites. It's just the movement between two things, the left and the right, the beginning and the end. But it's not two things, though. It's just one thing moving. Its starting point, which is the seed, the end point, which is the fruit. That is polarity. So you move through the stages of it. And in that movement, a rhythm emerges. Why? So that you can clearly see what's moving. Because it has its own particular rhythm, its way of moving, its own habit. So when you see the same pattern, you know what you're looking at. Pants have the same pattern, whether they're palazzo pants, like MC Hammer pants, but all pants have the same pattern. They got two legs. Okay? Squirt has the same thing. It looks like a skirt, but it has the pants. They all have the same pattern. Roses have the same pattern. Corn has the same pattern. You plant melons and pumpkins and cucumbers, their leaves at the beginning look exactly the same. If you watch it. The two beginning leaves that come out, they all look the same, that broad leaf. But you'll be able to tell once it matures which one it is. Everything has a pattern, which is rhythm, ebb and flow, high tide, low tide. Which will do what? Cause and effect. High tide causes us to not be able to walk that way on the beach. Not be able to go clam digging. Low tide, you can walk on the beach, you can go clam digging. Cause and effect. The effect has already been determined. High tide means the tide is high, but I'm moving on. You see, when that moon is full, the tide is high. That's the effect. I can't change that. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Why? Because we are in a constant state of generation. To generate means you come up with something, which is masculine. You come up with an idea. But now, to embody the idea is within, which is masculine. It is within. It's invisible. But feminine is the embodiment. The taking of the invisible and making it visible is feminine. You and I live it every day, but we do not live it deliberately. We live it unwittingly. We're just carried along by the tide. So, your mission, should you choose to accept it, my beautiful friends, is simply this. Pay attention. Pay attention to what you're doing because they are effects. And when you see what you're doing, you can go back to the mental invisible origin. And you can say, oh, snap. If I don't want to do that anymore, I got to get this new thing inside myself. And how do you get it inside yourself? Well, it's already in there. You just got to see it. And begin to experience in imagination what you'd be doing in reality. It's called, here's the example for it. We can think of the worst case scenarios, can't we? Oh my God, you do this and this happens. That's what we do. We think of the worst case scenario every time. Why? Just habit. So don't feel bad about it. It's just a habit. You don't have to be overwhelmed by a habit because a habit is easy to make. Just choose something you want to do and do it the same way every time, but deliberately. Yes, indeed. Indeed, Ricky. 2190. I beg to say it can start sooner. Well, the 2190 is repetition, right? But the intensity of the desire can make it happen sooner. Yeah, definitely, Ricky. Who's here with us today? Let's say hi, because I've been prattling on according. Oh my God. YouTube says, girl, you've been talking for an hour. Shoot. As my grandmother would say, duck pick your water. What has troubled you that you can't stop? That's what it means. I finally figured it out after all of these years. God. Anyway, K Frame, Ray of Sunshine, The Better Man. You guys are kicking it with us on YouTube this morning. Hey. It's good to see you. Well, Twitter is as Twitter does. Tumbleweed Twitter. But they usually have people who visit on the replays, which is nice. Fanbase, who's kicking it with us? Oh my word. Fanbase is bumping today. Hello. Who's in the house? Oracle Treehouse. Now, here's something. If the app is apping and I don't see you, it doesn't mean that you're not there and I haven't acknowledged you. It just means I can't see you. Mm. Hello, Oracle Treehouse. Hey, girl. Michael is here. Ray, Ricky. Summer Rose is in the house. Hey, Rufus. I love that name, by the way, Rufus. Somebody named their bull Rufus, but you know what? Let me stop. Um, they did. But anyway, Joyce, hello. Hey, Toyera is in the house. Rita, darling, is here. KZ, my sweet. KZ, you remind me of Lady, Lady is so dainty. If you don't know who Lady is my hen. Lady is so dainty. And so, like, when I feed her out of my hands, you wouldn't know she's eating out of my hand because she doesn't have that kind of a hard peck. She just, she's so gentle. Even her footsteps, everything. You remind me of her. Just a daintiness about you, truly. Miss McQueen, my darling. Moon and Dolphin Duck. Flo Smiles. Flo Smiles, I love the names you give these titles. Somebody asked me about that the other day. They said, hey, who does your thumbnails for you? I said, that's my girl. My girl. She does this all for me. And so I just want to say thank you. You just make it look so beautiful. And you're so alluring with your titles. I love it. I just genuinely do. So, anyway, I want to thank you all for being here and spending this long winded hour. But I trust, Lord help us all, I trust that you will grasp what was said and that you will apply it. And it's not hearsay because it's in your back garden. When you cook your food, when you wash your laundry, when you go to the potty, it is there. You cannot get past the principles. Because if those bowels don't move, we have a problem. But they move, don't they? You think they move of their own volition? No, they don't. They don't move of their own volition. But you know how we stop our bowels from moving? Excessive worry. Excessive worry stops the bowel. Or excessive worry. But what's the key word? Excessive. Will either slow you down or create diarrhea. Got me? Because you can't hold anything. Thereby, you're blocking yourself from every turn. Oh, but you don't think that the way you think and the way you feel has an effect on your bowels? You better stop. Sure does. I'm telling you, we're governed by these principles. Watch it for yourself and you'll see. Watch it and you'll see. Anywho, yes, ray of sunshine. When listen, that song just came in my head. When I move, you move, just like that. Movement helps the bowels to move. Hello. You guys think I'm kidding, but It's cold hard fact, and you have already observed it in your own life at one point in time. Oh yes, indeed, you have. And you think we can escape the principles, child? You better practice. Anywho, let me go before my rooster crows some more. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I look forward to seeing you right here again on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Fanbase, soon TikTok, every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can DM me on any platform. If you have a topic and you say, girl, I don't know. How about you explain this one? Because I think you're full of it. Well, which one of us isn't until we empty? But you know what? I digress. You can always do that. I'm not going to take offense to you. Why? Why should I? I don't have time for that. My role in this world is to teach those principles because I know their power, right? So, anywho, me a little bit, we gonna get our breakfast crack-a-lacking, and we gonna feed Lady and Chickaletta. Chickaletta is so cute. That's my new baby chick. Chickaletta, yes, because, my creativity knows no bounds. I think she'll be black, but which makes no sense. I've seen people who have black chickens and their chicklets are black. But this one, she's yellow with black spots in her fur and other little colors. I'm like, you're just a motley of things, aren't you? But she's so cute. Anyway, she lets me pick her up. and Lady doesn't peck me, which is nice. So I'm excited I get to go and hang out with them before I get ready for work and just hug and kiss them and. Don't ask. Those are my girls. Anywho, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for being here. And as always, if you have questions, you know where to find me. Okay. Oracle Treehouse, um, can I WhatsApp you in a minute? I had this dream, and I need your help, because you're good at that. So I don't get it. Girl, when you hear it, whoo. Anywho, I love you all. Okay? Mwah. Oh, what's wrong with you? You're not the only one I kiss a little bit. Relax, you'll get your kisses. He just said, That's what. Anyway, I love you, and I'll see you on the morrow. Mwah. Peace out. Peace out. You're not ready for more chicks, Ricky? Really?